Hello, hello. Testing sound. Testing sound. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Testing sound.
Testing sound. Okay, like this. Can anybody hear me?
Hello, hello.
Okay, like this. Can anybody hear me?
Hello, hello.
Hi, we have three people so far. Welcome all. Um, yeah, maybe people is busy today. We are thinking to change the schedule, also because maybe at this time in many countries people is sleeping. So we will try to have maybe one schedule that most of the people is awake and we can still live stream. So maybe it will be like Fridays at um, 3 p.m. still, or maybe I don't know. Please do some comments. Where do you think is the best time to do this? But like for sure, we are thinking Friday because Friday will make more sense for many people. Even though many people is not working, we can still thinking in the future things get better. All right, welcome everybody to this second live stream of Otto DIY robot. So last week, for the ones that were here, it was quite fun experience to have like the first introduction to this new live stream that we are doing. Towards like also thinking about the situation now. Many people it's at home, so it makes sense. Even though before we make many video calls with the community, this one maybe will have been more interesting to do since we can do interaction with the comments and we can still keep the videos for future viewers. So if the people that is now in this live stream don't know about what we did last week, they can check the video that is in the YouTube channel and they can see what we did. Well, basically, just to give you a little review or resume of what we did last week, we just uh, make some questions and answers, what we will do now, or I mean, in this live stream, we show like the new open education project that we have in Wikifactory, and I'm gonna show again. But this time we are gonna focus, as in the title says, about how to code with Otto Blockly with our open source software that is to code Otto, right? You can code any Otto. If you have seen the video also about what does this software does, or, or you know what I mean. If you don't, then check the video, which is also in the YouTube channel. So today we're going to play a little bit with different robots. We have, as you can see, we have many robots here, but like, we are going to try to focus on the basic one. I have the wood one here, but of course, anything we do in the code applies to any robot that you know, doesn't matter what material you use, as long as you have the same components, right? And our like favorite, which is the one with the LED matrix. As you see, it doesn't have any eyes, but it's because it has this thing inside, right? An LED matrix of 16 by 8 LEDs, ultra bright LEDs. And yeah, let's start into it. First, I wanna say hello to everybody. Hope you guys are okay with the situation. Last week we also talked about a little bit some initiatives that people is doing due to the virus situation. I will show also that Wikifactory now from last week has like many new projects of people that is doing something about it. So because we are pro open source, we would like to share also what other people is doing. Unfortunately, let's say from our side in robots, the best we can do is to release educational content. So that's what we are doing with the OpenEDU project. So let me show my screen and I will show you. So here we have Blockly, as you can see. But before jumping into it, I'm going to show you all the new projects that you can see here that Wikifactory has got. Thanks to like great makers, especially in Spain, that are doing a lot of things. So you see all these kind of face shields, like numbers of designs, because even though like there's a lack of mask, like for doctors, a face shield is actually very important because it creates a physical barrier anti everything. we have a new Otto remix that we would like to also show. So we will show you later. So here we have more face mask. It seems like even some mask actually, and there's also some machines. I saw there were very interesting and advanced machines like respiratory or like pumps to help when the patient is in critical conditions. But yeah, this is amazing how the humanity is like working in very. This one looks like Otto some sort, like the one in the middle. You see, it's funny. So more mask. I don't see the pump I saw last time, but maybe it's in one of those. Inside you have to open the project. Oh, here we have a breathing apparatus. So that one is a machine that it's like, of course, more advanced, but it's very interesting that there's multiple products for all these stages of what people might be through. There's even like Project Carola. This one is very interesting. It's like a container transform into a all-in-one like assistance, and mass production. So even to encourage like remote fabrication of the mask. So I encourage you guys to visit or at least share. I mean, share it's something that works because as you see in social media, there's always bad news and just like the numbers and things that don't really help. Like we need things that help, positive things, and this is very positive. Projects that are contributing in one way or another, but for sure for better good of everybody. So welcome. You can also access it. We have been watching a lot of like meetings and webinars of these people, and we support a lot what they are doing, especially in Europe and Latin America now. Um, and of course because it's open source we are happy to see more projects sharing and more in these critical situations you can see how important is open source for humanity in every sense when you are open all these like people that doesn't have the resources the machines they can really have access to it. There's always some project template in case that you have a project, then this is the place to start, right? But there's many things out there. I think you can stick to one of them. Or like for example, this one it seems like the most popular now because it's in Spanish, but I'm pretty sure they will have more information in English. This is another thing that there's no like really language barriers in terms of this. Once you see the picture, you see and the 3D model here. Um, and this is something that has many contributors actually here and is well documented. And it doesn't matter if it's in a different language, you can always ask, you can check the issues, you can check the files. So you see that here somebody's asking, somebody's telling a feedback from German hospital, an actual hospital. So like the collaboration level that is happening now, it's amazing. You have all the files always open source and you just like can download them or like even just preview before download to make sure that you download something that you can use for your 3D printer or your project. So this is something really cool. Now, let me have a quick look to the comments before we actually start with the thing. So we have can see the screen you are on. Still see Blockly. Oh, sorry. So all the time I just show Blockly. Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so here we have the screen. I'm gonna show it very quickly now. At least you hear what I say, and I just forgot to activate. I'm still a new in this, but here we have the OpenEdu. So I was in Wikifactory here, and basically just the main website, so the entrance here, and I just put like the recent projects, and here are all the projects I was talking about. Sorry for that. But yeah, just go wikifactory.com and you will see all the projects I was mentioning. Uh, I will be more careful with sharing the screen, make sure that it's in the right screen. But yes, the machine, as I told you, the Spanish project, this one I opened, okay, the contributors, the issues, files, and that's what it was. So here we have the latest remix of Otto. Let's have a look. It seems people is doing a lot of Ottos with wheels, and this one is very cute. I like that it's very compact and like small, and it seems to use a little pieces. So I always like when a design is very efficient and all the files are here, and that's very nice. It even has an app. That's really cool. So thanks to the contributor for this. Thanks for sharing, and for sure this is something that many people in the community were gonna like to see. So it seems okay. The back support still is there, and the full model is here. So there you go. It's only four different pieces, I think. I mean, the wheel is two times, of course, and yeah, it's good that I checked the comments for what I was like doing. Let's check the comments again. All right, thank you, Brendan. How is it going, Brendan? So Brendan is a big fan of Otto Blockly. He has given us a lot of feedback, and I hope you can give us more feedback once we start to talk about that today. Um, Let me go back to this design. Screen, I make sure it's visible. And yeah, so this one looks very easy to 3D print. I might want to try to 3D print one of these, and maybe we can show in the next live stream if you guys think. I think I have the 360 motors. I have to check, but I like that the lid is very, very small. Oh, one cool feature about this is like I think you can explode, if I remember. So you have different views. You can deactivate the grid, and you have this cool feature that separates the pieces. So so I don't know how much you guys explore our documentation, but all our autos have this thing, and it really helps to see how things are made, and that's the cool thing about open source. So you can see what is inside before printing it, making sure, because people think that every time you see a model online is gonna work, and you always have to be like a judge. You need to be like critical every time you see something online, because as with everything, even like what is happening now with the mask, you need to really think or ask or check even comments. But this tool really helps to see, is this 3D printable? Is this something I can put in my 3D printer? Is this something that is going to work? Of course, the best way to know that is if you see a picture of the actual prototype. So that helps. The fact that you see that is true, right? But there's no video, so is it going to move? I'm pretty sure this one is going to move. I'm not taking out credit of this design, but like even if you go to other projects in Otto, you're gonna find that many maybe are not perfect, like the main four robots that we have. The main four robots that we have, of course, they are good. They are gonna work. If you check by the number of followers, it's usually the ones that are the best documented. So like the classical basic Auto DIY, the Plus, the humanoid. Here we have the Open EDU, which is what we are gonna check now for the Blockly content. You have the quad. So these ones are usually the most well documented ones, and the ones that you are sure that are gonna work once you print. I mean, they might have little details that can be improved, like everything, but the more you go like further, because they are actually not so popular, so you see that there are things that are not even finished. But that's normal. I mean, technically, every project is never finished. Auto is never finished. It can be improved always. We are now in the version number 9, and I'm pretty and now and we are working on the version 10 already. So like we for sure forecast many improvements all the time, even though it's the same technology. But detail by detail, we are perfection in the design. Uh, yeah. So for example, you see these ones. So the Santa Claus is very nice one, but I think it's a design that is quite old. So like if you print it, maybe still it's gonna work, but you're gonna have the issues that people were having years ago. So like, I mean, I'm sorry that we cannot keep like all of this updated, but it's because it's also projects of people, so we don't want to interfere. And and in case that you just want to do one of them, you just have to be careful. I'm pretty sure they can be, of course, made, but just make sure that there's nothing that was changed by comparing the projects. It's some quick 10 minutes evaluation that you should do for every project. And okay, so let's check the comments once more. See if there's not any question, no problems with the sound, so we can continue. All right, so what we come today was specifically for Blockly. So let's switch to Blockly now. I'm gonna check. Okay, so here's Blockly. So amazing software that we created last year. Just to give you a little bit of background, this was something that for many years we wanted to make. It's just very difficult to create a software. I myself, I'm not a software engineer, as I have clarified to many people, even though people think that I'm an expert in coding, I'm not. I tried my best to always find what we need for Otto, and this was something that for sure we needed, and we finally made it. Well, before we had mblock, and many people were using, I myself was using mblock, but mblock it was designed for mbot, for other robot, and we were just in an extension, and the extension you needed to install, then it was not compatible, then if we wanted to create new blocks, it was a whole new process, and we needed to update the extension, so it was really complicated. So with our own software, we have more control, and we have this nice looking interface. I like it. I mean, if you compare to other Blockly, I think we have make a very good job. And thanks to also other open source robots. So like, for example, we were looking many years to find a way to create things with Blockly and connect them with Arduino. Because as you can see here, we have the code in Arduino already. Every time I move a block, things disappear or appear. So if I drag the moonwalk one, click, and then moonwalker function is here. So that's, I mean, what is behind this? I just wanna like show you guys, like maybe like many people don't see it as something normal, because of course we need this and it must be for the robot, but but it's it was hard, and it's hard still. So many people now are complaining because there's no Mac version. Well, we struggle just to make the Windows and the Mac version. We are really trying to make it, but I am in a Windows. I use maybe Mac in my internship, and after that I have no idea. So like, unless if you have to code for Mac a software, and then that's why we need a lot more people in the that have those computers to at least help us to test. That's all we need. So like, we make sure that we create also for Mac. Same for Linux. I have a computer that is Linux. I kind of like can try that one, but my Linux computer was a recovered Windows computer, so like it's very slow, and I really don't have much time just for testing. So like, for now we are focusing on Windows, making sure all the languages that we are working now. I don't think you guys can see this because I saw in the last live stream, but here we have at least 7 languages. I mean, I can select and you can see all the languages we have so far. Now there's a new one this week, which is Portuguese. So we have around 8, and if some of you speak more of these languages, you can help us also. If you want me to show you how to translate, I can show you also in this video, because it's part of the Blockly world, let's say. So I can show you how to like make suggestions, request for new blocks, or you can just tell me now, and then we will work on that for sure. I want to focus first on a very functional Blockly, and then for sure I will try to make the Mac version more than I already tried, and we already tried. So we have been working with some people, very nice people that help us to at least they help me to learn how this works and how to create this. And it was a journey, but we did it. We did it, and here we have, and now we are gonna use it. So we are learning how to use it. I'm using it a lot in after school programs and workshops. Unfortunately, all of that is closed now. But now that I know that I have to come back to the other screen here, okay. So now I'm creating some content that I release for free here. So this is what I show very in the like superficial way last time. So here you find OpenEDU is educational content. learning materials that you can use in your school or just to learn how Otto works. And we are separating into lessons. So Brandon is actually one of the contributors now, and he's helping us to create some courses. But I invite you everyone to join us. It's very simple. You can click here, sign up, and you will be able to upload files in here. And then we just have it divided by so here's this, for example, lesson plan ideas. This was uploaded by Random, and then he puts his ideas there, and maybe he's gonna start to build on top of that. So you see the introduction. There's some PPTs, right? Let's suppose that we already built the robot, which I guess like many people don't have too much trouble with this, since we have videos, we have the instruction manuals as you see here, and and um, and then it's quite mainstream. But the coding part, so we have the video. For the ones that don't know what is Blockly, let's play it here just to show. So what is Blockly? This is Blockly. It's an open source software that you just open and you can code your own robot. Okay, just drag and drop. So you drag and drop blocks that are different functions. Right. So we are putting some smiley saying that, oh, Otto is sad, but easy to modify because you just have to drag and drop down the menu to change the picture. This is the actual code that I told you. That's the actual code that we six samples. So like we have like a library of samples that we can just open. You don't know how to start. It's very integrated. That means that you just have to like click check and upload, and now we can just click upload and click. Can open also a Dreamer file. This is something many people just don't use it. So for example, here you can upload the Bluetooth code. But in this case, it's just I like Bluetooth code. I have a code, there is some reaction, and you can connect it to your phone. So you can recycle all the code you use in a Dreamer. Of course, you won't see the blocks as they should be when you see the code. Here we have ice. Change the levels. More blocks, and you can just like make them more advanced and code all the robots we have. So Otto Blockly is definitely the main tool for learning programming with Otto. It's perfect for beginners, and it's also for advanced. So like for sure it's something really good that many people appreciate. Okay, I'm checking just some comments now. So for a beginner, it's hard to find the core types. So what do you mean by the core types? I would like to dig a little bit about this. Okay, that you guys didn't listen to me almost when I was playing the video. That's why I took it out. I saw that it was quite loud. But basically, I was just showing the video, which is the same, and I was just commenting a little bit of what it does. But it's just to give a little bit intro that Blockly it makes the connection between Arduino and a graphical interface. That's what it is. You drag and drop blocks. You can easily upload via USB, and then you don't need to worry about libraries. You don't need to worry about like installing more stuff, and you just like plug and play basically. So I would really like to know about the core types. What does it mean? Maybe it's like what I understand is like maybe it's confusing to know what Otto you use or which blocks you have to use. So to continue with the presentation here, let me switch the screen again. Now I'm gonna open this guide. So I can just play here and you guys will see that inside Wikifactory I can show you the presentation. It's loading, takes some time because it's quite heavy PDF, but here you have it. So this is the official Blockly guide introduction. So it's a block environment, you know, and then you have this interface. So I'm gonna do like back and forward from this guide. So we are gonna talk about the interface first, so that you get familiar. So I'm gonna come back to Blockly and I'm gonna explain the interface. So the interface, you have the top bar, which you have the menu, and this is like what you're gonna most using all the time. Then you have the left bar, which are the actual blocks, you know. I'm gonna explain things that maybe are quite logical, but just to like cover all levels, right? As you see, we have first this puzzle. So let's start from the top left. This puzzle is basically a mode. So you can change between blocks mode, which I am now, to code mode. So what is this for? Well, this is when you want to modify what it was generated by the blocks. So for example, I take out this one and automatically updates here. So it only has the home. For the ones that know Arduino, this might seem very simple, but for the ones that don't, it might seem complicated, but it's not. I'm just gonna tell you that every block you drag, if you don't have anything, then there's only the basic things of Arduino here. So what happens is like when you drag, for example, home, which is to move Otto home, I'm gonna put a loop, right? Then I should see it in the loop. So it's in the loop. And then it added all of this stuff because all of this is the setup. So the software is already including the libraries for you, is already defining the connections, and it's already setting up your Otto. And it's doing all of that automatically. But if, for example, I want to change the pin connections, then this is very useful. For example, if I have the buzzer in the pin number 11, I just do this, check and upload. So that's why this is useful. I'm just making a very simple like example, but you can do the same with code. You can even just copy and paste Arduino code here. So you just like delete this whole thing and paste, you know, and you have a whole, you can use it as an Arduino basically. So basically, Otto Blockly has an Arduino inside. That's something that people don't realize. So it's a very powerful tool that doesn't require you to install Arduino. If you think about it like that, then you see it like something really, really good, which is it, right? So this is a very, very useful thing. Also, when there's bugs, for example, some block is not working with another block, you kind of like can hack. You can hack Blockly by modifying what is generating. What you have to be careful is if you notice when you come back here and then you come back here, then it resets. So for example, I can modify this. I can even make a mistake, right? And then I click here, come back, and it resets everything. So that's the only thing you should be careful. Like if you're gonna be in this mode, you try not to come back or save, right? So we're gonna talk about the saving function also, because when you change about this and this, it saves a different file. But let's jump first to one by one, the settings. The settings is I will say the most important button. Why? Because you can change the language, right? I'm gonna Espanol, which is my mother tongue language, and you see it didn't change, but it's because you need to refresh, which in the guide is explicit. It's explained that you have to press F5 because it's like a browser, you know. And then I upload, and it's in Spanish. Estructura, tiempo, right? The buckle, inicio, which is home, right? Sensor is the same. And even here is translated, and that's thanks to the community. This message maybe is not changed, but it's okay. It's maybe because it's meant to be like that. But here I can see the boards of course are not translated, but I can see all the blocks inside are translated and all the movements even. So that's great. Another cool function of the setup is the level. So this one is actually very important. By default, you start in beginner. This one doesn't need to refresh, but sometimes you actually do need. Let's refresh. F5. I prefer to refresh every time I use I change the main something in the settings. So you refresh and you make sure that things have changed. Maybe I didn't press OK. Yeah, it's still in maker, so you have to be careful here. I should press aceptar. Okay, let's see if refreshing now. It's not changing for some reason. Let's click here. So you have sometimes this kind of behavior, which I have no idea why it's happening, but yeah, it keeps jumping to beginner. Let's make something. Let's put it into English and beginner now. So it has some like interesting bugs, but that's just like to show like different things. So basically what it does is like it reduces the number of blocks, right? When you are in beginner, you only have access to certain blocks. When you are in maker and you click on these things, then you select what you want to use. So for example, I click humanoid here. That's because I have a humanoid and I want to use it. I have an LED mount, so I'm going to put, I have the LED eyes. So then you click there, you accept, you refresh, they are already here actually. So no, somehow I didn't need to refresh there, but I like to refresh every time. And here we have. So I have humanoid now, I have Otto, and I have all of these LED matrix. So that's the settings. Basically, that's what it does. Then you have to always select the categories, or you just click here. So for example, let's put the most advanced settings. Most advanced settings are going to bring many blocks that even I don't know how to use. So like, it's funny, but yeah, you see the audio has some additional components that we don't even use in Otto, but you can use as a creative way. Or maybe if you have some LED RGB, you can incorporate. So we try also to make it more flexible and modular. Let me come back for a moment to the comments just to make sure. Okay, under the projects in Wiki Factory, so okay, we voice faded, we almost know this. Under the projects in Wiki Factory, the core builds, for example, M humanoid and right at the bottom. Yeah, so like I see what you mean. So like in Wiki Factory, it's difficult to find the core robots. That's something I requested to Wiki Factory, if we can have like feature projects once you open Wiki Factory. So unfortunately, it's not ready. But the solution we have now is like if you go to our website and you open the product, you have a link to either the shop or the full documentation. So we make sure that from the website, from our website or the shop, you can find the files immediately. If you go to our shop and you go each product has the link to go to his documentation. And that's for sure the best way. I think that now more people, it's clear like in this way, and they find it the things more obvious. So like in Wiki Factory, there's not much we can do with many remixes. The more that there are, the complexity grows. But we will see how we can make it like that in Wiki Factory. It's just that is with the people in Wiki Factory that we need to discuss that. Yeah, note that you can switch between modes without losing the edits in the code view. Exactly like that. That's what it happens. So I'm gonna come back now and I don't see Blockly. Let me see. Okay, Blockly is back. And then what it happens? Okay, so we are here setting, and we have this one. So this one is very simple. It's new document. Just delete everything you have. So doesn't matter if you have a disorder here, blocks everywhere. You just want to clean it up. Click new. Okay, and that basically just erases everything. I mean, additionally, you can of course drag things to the trash, or as many you have seen me, I just drag them here. So there's like 4 ways to delete. So one is like just new and deletes everything also. So you have to be careful not to click it when you are doing something. Or you can also right click, delete block, or you can also use the delete key. Okay, so then you have open, and you can open Arduino files or the examples. You can see here you can open that block, which is the extension for Otto Blockly, and that ino, which is the extension for Arduino. Then you can, for example, if you make something here, no calibration, no, let's try move forward. And then you go here, you can save here as an Arduino file. So I just save my Arduino file like this, and I can open in Arduino. But if you are here and you save, then it's as that block. So I save two files. One is that opens the block, and another one is the code. So how do I verify that? Well, I don't have anything, and I open this one, and it opens my block. You see? If I open the Arduino one, which I don't see, it's here. If I open the Arduino, immediately opens in here this page. Why? Because there's no an actual block for this. You see, now it deletes everything again. So like you have to be careful with the switching, because that one just cleans everything. Right? It seems here from here it doesn't open. That's interesting. I'm gonna, or maybe it's because it's already open. So I'm gonna click new, open. It's not opening. That's strange. So maybe got stuck there. Okay, the block. Okay, I come back here, and it's this one. If I try to open this one, then opens like this. So you can open it anywhere actually, but just to have that note here, you can take screenshots. So our classic, let's do something here, and then I take a screenshot, and you can save as a picture. I'm running out of battery, so like we still have 20 minutes, but I think we can switch to the comments section, and that will be like at least for today, this first part. Okay. Any questions, guys? So I'm open to questions now, until what we have seen so far, and then later we can continue.